You don't know what can happen. I didn't know what could happen, but there's what happened. Looks amazing in this light. Normally it's not this blonde. There's a lot of bright light from this window, which I'm thrilled about. So welcome to the Poirier Pocket. I'm gonna stop playing with my hair now, I promise. So I got COVID on my period, and I thought, well, what a wonderful conversation and topic to cover with you, wonderful viewer. So I tried to write down all my symptoms. They're around here somewhere in between all my deep dark journaling when I need to get out all the darkest things, because better out than in, right? So I got COVID this last cycle on my period, which did some crazy little weird things that you wouldn't expect. And so I thought, I think other people would want to know about this. I got my period on a Monday, and it wasn't super heavy or anything, which is kind of like how it works. Like, it builds up and then, you know, it becomes what it is. It gets heavier and then it kind of like goes away lightly. I will get a lot of cramps sometimes. I will sometimes like have the worst where it's just I can't do anything and I feel like I'm dying, and I know I've just gotta like outwait it, but I'm in the bath. I'm taking all of the like pain medicine that I can and trying to like drink water, and I just feel sick on all ends. It's awful. You're kind of gonna get a feel for what happened when COVID entered my normal, which is already kind of a wonky period, but normal for some ladies. So this is what COVID did to my period. I got my period on Monday and it was not super heavy. I slept in late. So like I slept in till noon, which I remember thinking, oh, it's not that bad. I'm gonna keep sleeping. So I slept a whole other hour after that. Still was thinking like, oh, it's just really early and my husband got up early. No big deal. I mean, maybe I slept in a little bit. My husband came in and he's like, are you all right? Because it was noon and I don't normally sleep in that late. Like, I sleep in, you know, pretty good till 8:30, 9, but often I'm up at like 7:30. Been pretty consistent with that. So noon was a little late for my schedule, but I just thought, okay, I'm about to get tired because my period is coming in soon. This is just my body, you know, taking care of itself. Oh, was I wrong? So, okay, Tuesday, it was just the heaviest. Like, it definitely was like the normal, like, oh, okay, my period's here. Oh, now my period's here. But that's like normal. And again, I wanted to sleep in. Like, I probably could have slept until 11, but I thought that was just a weird fluke. I didn't really think my body was about to go through something serious. So I had a lot of fatigue, and I started noticing a cold, which with my cycle, I'll just get like more snotty, more congested at different times. So it's just kind of like, oh, it's probably, you know, because my hormones are shifting, whatever. But then I got like a sore throat. So it was more than just like the runny nose. And Wednesday, so like, I think it was Tuesday night that it was like, maybe I should take tomorrow off. And my husband was like, I think I'm gonna take tomorrow off too, because he was starting to like feel something. So I was like, all right, we'll just have like a lazy day, but it'll just be because we have a cold. And so Wednesday, my period got lighter. Oh, I should mention that the day before I started getting really emotional and anxious, so just kind of like period stuff. But Wednesday was really light and my fever started, and so we did stay home. I got cramps and I had lower back pain, still like a normal period, but getting light was a little weird. I normally can expect one more like medium period day of flow. And I started getting a headache, which was not fun. Thursday was when I realized I was super sick. So this is like day 4 of symptoms basically, but I didn't know my symptoms were symptoms. So day 4, looking back, I know that Thursday was when I realized I was super sick, and I thought like my period just dried up, like it's over. I just had a 3-day period and that has like never happened. I will have longer periods. I will have maybe 5 days, it would be like, wow, okay, that was a short one. But normally it like lingers for, you know, up to 8 days. So then the migraine. So I started with a headache, then it went from a migraine, and it was like in my shoulders, like the most achiness I felt in like the center back, like spine stuff. And I could not take enough Tylenol. I needed so much Tylenol to be able to like just survive it. It was so much pain, and there was no way to take enough Tylenol. And you could only take it like every 6 hours, which at the time it was like, that's the other half of the day. Like, that's gonna be so much later. But I remember I took one really early, and then we were just like sleeping a ton on these days. We didn't actually get much of anything done except surviving, because COVID got us. And I think it was probably like one of the variants or something, because it was harsh. So also, I'm just like so glad that we were able to fight it. Like, I'm so thankful. As I'm telling this, it's like, okay, yeah, that wasn't that bad, because we've had family members, and just there are crazy stories out there of how bad it can hit somebody, and it hit us bad. Like, this was no, oh, do I have it? Do I not have it? It was like, oh, we have it. So let me continue with the story. I started getting chills and no sweating, and the fever was just like really strong. I think this was my highest fever day. It was day 4 on Thursday. And again, we were just like sleeping all day. We were totally like zoned out, having conversations a little bit, but also just like leaving YouTube on and lounging around, which we thought we would just need Wednesday off, but Thursday was the worst. So Friday, I like got over the hump of it, like got so much better. I felt loads better from what it was, but I was still getting like sweaty, and just doing like very little, it would be like, oh my gosh, like I cannot do the stairs, or I cannot do anything. Like, it was a lot, and I definitely like would wake up in sweats. And my fever was starting to go down, so that was really nice. And then like the achiness in my shoulders was going away. Like, Tylenol was actually helping, and all the cold medicine. And we did find out on Friday that it was COVID. So like we were smart enough that we were like, let's get a test, come on. And then it was weird, because then I got my period back. I got like some light spotting. It was more so like a light period, but like a really, really light period. And I don't think that's considered spotting. Spotting, I think, is when it's like more brown. Like, this was still very light pink. And I thought it was going to be, like I said, like I thought I was gonna have a 3-day period. So now it's like, I guess I had like a period. It had to stop because my body couldn't handle any more stress, and it decided to pick up again on Friday. Saturday, just all I wrote was that I had a super light period, and starting to like feel better and actually get to do things while being forced to stay home. Before, it was just, I guess this day is just gonna be resting. I don't get to get any of the things that I wanted to get done while I'm home. I think Saturday was like, oh, we can actually watch that thing, and we can like enjoy the time a little bit more, rather than feeling like just miserable. It was so bad. So day 7 was Sunday. I still had a cold. Oh, I forgot about the cough. I wrote down that the cough was getting a lot worse, and I think it was just us like getting better, but it also was like different things were worse. Only that was like the thing that was worse on those days. And so definitely just like the cold and the cough. I still had, excuse me, I still had my light period, but my temperature got normal again. So 7 days out, which is crazy. My temperature actually got normal, and my body decided that it could continue the period. The last day that I wrote any notes for is the Monday, and that was the day that I had some cervical mucus, which I was really surprised, because I didn't think it was possible this month. Like, I thought, all right, so I got super sick, and that's like somewhat stressful. Well, it was definitely stressful on my body, so that kind of cancels out that cycle, I would think. But no, my cycle has been like perfect. So I guess if you have COVID and you get it at the beginning of your cycle, it may not affect it. Like, I am so lucky that I get to say that, because we've been trying for so many months, and to lose another cycle, it's like, all right, like, okay, God, like, I surrender. You've got this, which I still have to surrender. And definitely like I'm leaning on him, but like in those moments, it's like, are you kidding me? Okay. But praise the Lord, it definitely is a good cycle. I ovulated right on time that I normally do. It was just a really smooth cycle. The cycle before I got COVID was one of the worst, where it was like my body just couldn't ovulate from what I could tell. So I'm so happy with this cycle, and it like forced me to rest, I guess, getting COVID, and sometimes you have to do that on this journey. So I guess thanks body, thanks COVID. That probably is a terrible thing to say, but I think a lot of people are thanking COVID for really strange things that it did. And I'm so thankful that I'm feeling better and that I didn't lose my taste. Chris is still dealing with taste a little bit, where he's worried about it and just hopes that it comes back. So that's what we're just, holding on to and crossing our fingers and praying that it does come back for him. But yeah, that's just kind of a look into what it was like for me and how it really was okay. And it didn't affect it too much, which is super weird, that like my body was just going crazy and then it just like took care of itself. So you don't know what can happen, and I didn't know what could happen, but there's what happened. All right, wonderful way to wrap it up. Bye guys. Sub in the bathtub. Sub in the bathtub. Sub in the bathtub.